Today we're going to talk about movie films. In particular, horror movie films. And even more particularly, we're going to be talking about compilations of horror films. These are my favorite, the top 6. Most people know I'm a very frugal person, so if I can find something that I can get for a deal, I'm going to check it out. These are some of the better ones. For example, while this one only has 2 films on it, they're both particularly good. Italian zombie films from 1980. We have Nightmare City, which was also known as City of the Living Dead, and we have Hell of the Living Dead, which was known as Virus and went by a few other names. This one is actually fantastic, as it combines both the jungle cannibal tropes and the zombie tropes, which were popular at the time, especially in Italy. And it takes place in Papua New Guinea, a place I hope to visit one day. Now next, we have 4 films. Horror comedy films, my favorite cross-genre. It's got House 2, which once again has an actor from Cheers appearing in it, almost as good as the first. We have an Elvira film, Mistress of the Dark, maybe my favorite of hers. We also have the George Clooney starring Return of the Killer Tomatoes, and Transylvania 65000. This showed on Comedy Central a lot back in the day. It's got a lot of famous people in it. Jeff Goldblum, who The Fly, Jurassic Park, Gina Davis, who I believe is a genius, Ed Begley Jr., Best in Show, and had a bit part in This Is Spinal Tap, and Michael Richards, who doesn't have much of a career anymore, I believe. This one has 6 movies. It's also put out by LionsGate. We have Blood Diner, which is a comedy about cannibalism. Parents, another comedy about cannibalism, which stars Randy Quaid, who may not be acting. I think this might be the closest to his true character. Strangely, this also features Earth Girls Are Easy, as I don't really see how it fits the bill, nor do I particularly enjoy it, but it does have Sundown, Vampire in Retreat, a lesser-known film that has both Bruce Campbell and David Carradine. Takes place in Arizona, New Mexico, somewhere in the Southwest, I believe. And then a pair of comedy zom-coms that both came out in the mid-2000s, I believe. Fido, Boy Eats Girl. 2006 and 2005, yes. Another 6 set by LionsGate. Both Bride and Beyond Reanimator, which are fantastic. Not as good as the original, but absolutely worth a watch. Also, we have Return of the Living Dead 3, which is better than the second one. Not nearly as good as the first. And then Return of the Living Dead 4 and 5, which... This also has Night of the Living Dead 3D, which I would have never normally even looked at watching. But, featuring Sid Haig, I thought I'd give it a chance since I owned it. Well worth it. His character added a twist to the film that I did not see coming, and I would look for that film, even on its own. This set, put out by Lionsgate, has 8. We have Waxwork, which is an absolute classic. 967 Evil 2, which, while not as good as the original, is still worth a watch. Ghoulies 3, which, by this point, the series had just evolved into an absurd comedy. This was more of a Porky's type, college type comedy than anything to do with horror. Also, Chud 2, Bud the Chud, comedic. If you enjoyed the first, you'll enjoy this one, especially if you enjoy a little bit of comedy thrown in there. Chopping Mall with its take on consumerism and its comedy, kind of a pre-RoboCop, Robot Gone Bad. And Slaughter High, which is another one of those late 80s horrors that took place in high school, which for many people I believe was kind of horrible on its own. Now finally, I'm going to offer you this one, 13 comedy horrors. This covers a wide range, as it has films from the 40s, 60s, the 80s. For the 80s, for example, we have My Mom is a Werewolf and Death Row Game Show, which I've not seen elsewhere released. Manos, Hands of Fate, if you want to see it without the Mystery Science Theater commentary. But it also has one of my all-time favorites, King of the Zombies. You will find King of the Zombies released on a lot of these compilations, as I do believe its copyright has long been extinct. It also has a film with the Ritz Brothers, The Gorilla, and it has ones that you would expect with such as A Bucket of Blood and Creature from the Haunted Sea from Corman. Now, for my plus, for the extra, I'm going to show you, you probably already know about these. They're the 50 packs. MillCreek is famous for putting them out. They're going to be all things that are out of copyright, or at least they believed were out of copyright when they put them into print. Another 50 pack that I found, this one was put out by a company called Emson, who I'm not really familiar with. While it does have some duplicates, it does have some things that you don't normally find on these compilations. For example, Bluebeard and Eaten Alive, which was very surprising. So once again, I hope you found some things that you can add to your collection, and especially the 50 packs. They're a very good place to start, especially if you're getting into old horror.